so proudly we had the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and
And good evening, everybody. Hey, if you notice, Jamie's not here tonight, but we got someone probably better looking anyway. Hey,
That's
Doug,
what I was
how
just
you
thinking.
doing?
Evening.
The LAUER Auto Repair, we of course always thank him. Axe is a big part of that. He is the part of that. So Axe, we definitely appreciate you. You've been on board for us, what is it, almost 2.5 years now?
I believe so, yeah.
That's the beginning anyway.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Oh, it was great. I was sitting there going, what should we do tonight? I mean, I could have went solo here and did it, but it's always a little more fun with somebody else. So here you are, right?
Yep.
Now, we got to tell everybody, why is Jamie gone? Well, he is turning 54 today, or has turned, and he's out having a family birthday. I don't know if they went out to eat or what they did, but
I think they were staying home.
staying home.
Yep.
So maybe kid number 3 later here, about 9 months.
Maybe, yeah. Them old balls, I don't know if they still work.
We got to do that to him, don't we? Hey, One Shot Dan, way over there in the Dickinson country. We're glad to have you on board tonight. Waylon Turnus is with us. Josh Patterson. Eric Good. Eric's kind of been, he's been here, but he's been a little absent lately. I suppose he's been hunting really hard. Brian Warner, good evening, fellow MVVs. One Shot and Trampus Brenner. Thanks everybody for coming on board here tonight. If you're over on Twitter, I guess you guys learned this. I think you and Jamie did that. The reason sometimes some of these comments don't come through, I understand, is you have to go actually on there and change the setting. Is that how I understand it?
I'm not even sure myself on it.
Okay, that was what I was told. So I don't know. I'm still not that familiar with Twitter, or I guess it's X now. But I guess you have to do something with a link or a setting in your link. I don't know, so that you can get all of the messages through when you're coming through on the Guns and 701 live cast. So I don't know that much about it.
Hey,
Mayor of Mobridge, Gene Cox, he's with us tonight as well. So tonight, what we're planning to do is the reason I had invited Axe to come on as well. Axe is a mechanic, got a heck of a good place there. He's done some good work for me, and
Thank you.
I can tell you right now, head on down to LAUER Auto Repair if you need anything, right?
Yes, please.
But kind of thought, well, let's talk hunting rigs and, what are some good rigs? What should you be doing? And we got a few other things. We're going to have our happy ending. I know you brought an article that I think is a great one. Involves an illegal alien. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they should be on police departments, do you?
No.
We're going to discuss that. So we got that coming up. And then I'm bringing up one, and this is California. Imagine that all bad things lead to California when it comes to gun laws. They start there, and then they're like a little locust. They spread out throughout the blue states.
I don't remember about the happy ending, but is that one in California also?
No, that one, if I remember right, Tennessee.
Oh.
Yeah, Tennessee. A little bit of a, well, maybe it gets lonely out in them back hills and just causes some frustrations. I don't know, but I know that it's a happy ending as far as I'm concerned because the person ended up assuming room temperature, so
Yeah.
that's always a good time when they're
Yep.
doing the wrong thing as far as I'm concerned. Hey, David's joining us over on X. I can see that. All right, so let's get started. Now, everyone has their own kind of hunting rig, right? I mean, and I've been fixing up on a, I've got a little International Scout 2. It's a 1974. Had it for a while. I was down at a friend's house, and I went and got it back here recently and had to do a few things. I think that's a cool little rig myself. It would make a great little hunting rig and way cheaper than buying a new side-by-side. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, everyone, I know I see a ton of, four-wheel drive, full-size pickups out there. What do you think? I mean, just from a mechanic standpoint, what's a good solid rig
I'd
that you
say
should turn into a hunting rig?
well, anything that that you don't mind beating up a little bit, because then you take out your new pickup, they get that first scratch going through some brush or something. That's
Right.
gonna hurt the most.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Well, I'll go out on a limb here.
Yeah.
To me, I like to have something in the mid 70s, 80s.
right.
You can get
A
into
Chevy
something
square
90.
body or a 90, something like that would be
Yeah,
my.
yeah. One shop. Wish I had a 1962 GMC. Right now, for the news I got today, maybe I'll sell you one. But
For the right
no,
price,
no. We run into a snag, a little snafu finding a new clutch for it, which that's a whole nother story for not tonight. But anyway, I like them good, solid, heavy rigs. I don't, and by the way, people, don't come over. If you come from Minnesota and East River with your $80,000 pickup and your pretty topper and a big trailer, and A, it's hard for you to find probably any way to get on anybody's land. And two, where are you going to go with that outfit? To me, that just, you're asking for, if it's dry out, luckily we had some moisture. So I call them fire setters because that's what they do. And leave the 20 and 22-inch wheels at home with the little rubber bands around them. They don't do much good out there either. So,
Yeah.
to me, you want to have those older rigs if you got them. I've got a couple different ones I like to take, but general 15, 16-inch wheels. If you're going to be traveling some of these roads that, minimum weight maintenance, I think that's how they designate it from the counties in the state. You're probably going to want something that's going to lug pretty good and clean the tires and be able to, if you do hit some scratches against some brush, who cares, right?
Right.
I mean, or if you want to shoot across the hood like we do in our
Yeah. Something you're not.
in the videos. Lynette says, "How about a green Dodge?" And we know what she's talking about.
Well, I'm hoping to get that up and running here for winter, for hunting season myself, because I'm tired of taking my Silverado out, and the Ranger. Wow, I do agree with Dave. That is a nice little hunting rig, but I like carrying more stuff than that sometimes. So
Right.
a full size is always nice.
Oh, full size is always great. I'm with you on that. I hunted for years out of a 2-wheel drive 88 Ford. I still have that pickup. It's a super cab. Just had to kind of pick where I went with it. Did a hell of a lot more walking back then, even getting to my spots. And yes, I know before everyone gets down our throat, what are you doing driving around? Well, I'm on my private property. I can do what I want. But yes, you still got to get to some of these places.
Well, even just talking to the old guys at the hunting cabin, they used to drive around in just station wagons. Nobody had a pickup. They remember the first person that had a 2-wheel drive pickup, and that was groundbreaking back then.
Oh yeah, you think about how many. There are not very many 4-wheel drives, even in the 60s or 50s. I mean, they existed even in the 40s, but there just weren't a lot of them unless they were specific use. A lot of old military Jeeps come over. They were 4-wheel drive, right?
Right.
They
Yep.
came back home, but for the most part, if you didn't have a use 4-wheel drive, you just didn't have one.
A dealership added NAPCO front end and transfer case.
Yeah, and so let's talk about that. So, what do you want for heavy duty? Say a lot of people like the square body Chevy, right? You're talking those 70s. I mean, I guess you could call those early 70s. They're more rounded corners, but they went more square than they were, after the 60s. So, a lot of those have they've usually got some pretty heavy rear ends. I mean, to me, you're going to want something like that.
Yeah. Well, they got solid front end and everything, yeah, and rear end is
Well, the Chevy had what, the
good.
12 bolt? Was that what they called them?
12, yeah, I believe 12 bolt. Yeah,
In a T, I don't remember what
8 and 3/4.
Where's my Chevy guys? I forget what the and I like a manual transmission. I always have. I hate automatics. I still hate automatics. Unfortunately, we can't get a heavy duty pickup without an automatic anymore, but never been a fan, never will be. I guess maybe maybe I'm too narcissistic. I gotta have total control. So I don't know. But to me it's a hell of a lot cheaper, even like in my old diesels. I had $700, I could buy a clutch and put it in. Versus, 5, 6, shit. Some of these are what, 10 grand for these brand new ones for an automatic transmission.
Yeah,
That's insane. So yeah, Josh Patterson, my Traverse is my current hunting rig. Hey, I've watched guys come out here into some pretty interesting vehicles. Of course, they're going to walk a heck of a lot more. Maybe that's the problem. I don't want to walk unnecessarily because I want to save that energy for when I'm actually hunting. And I don't want to have to walk in for 5 miles because my vehicle had to stay at the main road. I just don't want to do that.
well, now everybody's going with side by side.
There's a lot of them around, but they're noisy. I mean,
Yeah.
even no matter what you do, they're noisy and they're kind of, I don't know. I don't care if to hunt out of a side by side, honestly. I mean, I've got 2 of them on the place here, and it's just not my thing, I guess. Maybe it's just me. If I'm going to take a rig, I kind of want the luxury of heat and no wind. And some people got cabs. I'm too tight to buy one with a cab. I'm not going to do that. Now, my little Toyota pickup I got, that would be a good outfit for if it's just me. You
Right.
can put nobody else in there. But to me,
I feel the same way about my Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Ford Ranger.
Yeah, Ford Ranger, not a Polaris Ranger.
Yeah.
Corey says manuals are great if your starter goes out. Yeah, exactly. You might be in the middle of nowhere, and I used to do that just in case. When I had my grandpa's old 1980 GMC, I'd sit it on a hill. Not that I had any problems going on, but battery died or maybe the starter went out. Guess what? I could still get it going and get home because generally I was down at my grandpa's place, which was 40 plus miles from anywhere. And we didn't have cell phones then. So you always kind of got to think ahead in my mind.
My biggest problem lately is I leave the heated seats on too long and drain the battery down, and I need a jump start. So,
so do yours stay on even after you shut it off?
No, I got to just turn the key to the accessory and they'll stay on.
And then you got okay.
I'm getting better about watching the
So I see.
volt gauge.
See, Axe has a really nice hunting rig. He's got heated seats. I do not have heated seats in none of mine.
The guy in the back seat would bitch, but yeah, we just kind of tuned him out.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we took that Dodge all the way to Florida hog hunting, and that was a different thing, though. I guess maybe it depends on how far you got to drive too. I can tell you, I wouldn't want to drive this Scout 2,000 miles to Florida right now.
That'd be slow going.
Be slow going. Yeah, they're not speed demons either.
No, they're not. No, they are not built for speed.
But around here, I think it's going to be a nice little getting around rig. And I don't know. I've got this bug lately. I don't know. I started with that 62, so now I'm pulling all my vehicles that I own out. I got that 63 Willys Jeep. I found a fuel pump for it now, so I ordered that. I don't recommend that. That's expensive.
Yeah.
They're a special deal. That 230 Tornado had a different arm in it. It's a different length arm and that's a reproduction, and they know it that they're the only people making them, and they charge accordingly. So, yeah, that's right, Corey. We took Corey's Ford down there, and the heater was glitchy. Yeah, you might call it glitchy, like not work. Sometimes work. We couldn't wait to get farther south so that it would warm up a little bit, and then it did the same thing on the way home. So, by the way, Corey, did you get that fixed? I don't know. Because you got to drive next time if you're driving. Then we can go across Georgia. So I don't know. What would you say? I mean, what would you want, just from a mechanic standpoint, if you had to have one rig out there? What would it be?
Well, I'm kind of all over the place. I mean, I've had my 02 Silverado hunting with that 94 Ranger, and then now I got that 97 Ram 1500. So I guess I like my older vehicles yet. Something
I do too. I mean, that's where I'm at.
Something that's sturdy and can hold up. You can actually lean on the tail box without denting it. So, or the
Yep.
tail, the box and.
Yep, everything. Yeah, and you're not going to kill it. And
Yeah.
I got that 2000 GMC. And that's a 3/4 ton. That's also the ranch pickup here, but one of them. But I like that for a hunting rig. For one, I don't have a bunch of stuff in the back end of it. Like my other pickup, I've got diesel tank and I got an air compressor and generator. But that's my one for hand. Basically, I got everything I need on there, tools. So yeah, that 2000 GMC is what I take out there. And the only problem I have with that is passkey. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And evidently that switch is getting worn, and every now and then, guess what? It will not start. So I either got to bypass it, or I'm going to have to put a new one in there. I don't know. It's just
something you got an extra set of keys for never hurts too.
Yeah, have an extra set of keys. I learned that boating out the lake. I screwed up, and that's a whole nother story. Left the keys in the boat and didn't have another set for the pickup, so had to find a ride to get back over the boat.
Yeah, nice to have for everybody to have a set of keys just in case that they're closer to the pickup to come pick you up if you're out walking yet.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Of course, you gotta have a gun rack in there, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yep. One in the back window, preferably.
What's that?
One in the back window, preferably. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and if it's old enough, you just screw it right to the freaking cab. You don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Eric says my Dodge minivan works too, and I yes, he has taken that, I believe, many times. I'm not a minivan guy. I don't even own one.
Does that have both driver and passenger doors that slide open that you can just shoot from either side? Then
I don't know if I imagine his. I never really looked at it that much.
I don't remember what year that one is. Yeah.
Let us know, Eric.
That'd be kind of handy. Yeah.
Yeah. Get the electric ones, then. Or as our buddy Waylon calls them, mobile hunting blinds. Speaking of, we got that coming up. If anybody wants to join us, we haven't really set a time. I don't know if there's really a time, but that's going to be May 24th. We're going over to Wayland Little Eagles. We're going down to the range that he's got out there. We're going to have some fun. We did it last year because you had someone grazing your area, so we couldn't. So we'll do it at your house too, but or at your range axe. But we're going to keep doing this one. And then our buddy out there from Brainerd, Minnesota is going to be with us too. So looking forward to that. Let me know if you're interested. I know you said you probably can't come. I don't think Jamie's going to be able to make it either. So anyway, that's coming up. Be fun.
Oh, yeah. It was last year. Yep.
2A701, the 1500 came with a gun rack. That's what he says. He bought a 95 Chevy 1500 used for hunting rig and a bunch of duck decoys. Well, yeah, but you're way over there on the other side of the state where you got ducks and geese. I don't have much of that over here. I don't know. Have you ever been duck hunting?
I did one. Yeah, we tried to sneak one time and it didn't work out well. And we tried goose hunting one time too, but it was after his bachelor party and we all fell asleep in the field then. So
it probably didn't work well. No. You're probably coming in there and great. You guys wake up and like, oh, I really missed them. I've been duck and goose hunting. I gotta say it was fun. I went out in Montana with a buddy and we took the river. We took his boat, went up the river, and set up blind. He had it kind of set up already, and that was a good time. It really was. But
it looks like it would be if you get in the right setup where they're coming in. But I've just never had it happen. So
it was new to me because I'd never done it. But yeah, it was fun. I don't know if I'd live to do it, but I can tell you right now, if I had to choose, I'd rather go pheasant hunting than duck or goose hunting any day. I'd much rather go pheasant and grouse hunting, upland bird hunting. That's what I'd rather do. But that's just me. I don't know. It seemed like it was awful cold sitting in them blinds if there was nothing coming in.
If you're going to shoot something that doesn't taste good, you might as well just shoot prairie dogs.
There you go. Prairie dog might taste bad. I made jerky and sticks out of mine. That worked pretty good. But then David says, best goose hunts wake up at noon. Yeah, we got up early in the morning, got there, got the rig in, dropped the boat in every day before the sun come up, so we get into them blinds. And that was when it was chilly. So, you got to put it this way: you have to invest in some good clothes, which I'd had, so it wasn't quite as big a deal. But I don't know, when they're not coming in, it's awful boring. It really is to me. So, well, I'll tell you what, we're 20 after. We're I'm not lit on fire tonight, anybody. So if I seem like I'm a little bit tired, I am. Been getting towards the tail end of calving, but I think we're going to go and we're going to take that first break. And I don't know, what do you want? Should we come back and hit on some of this 2A stuff we got?
Certainly.
Who knows? We got all kinds of things. We can talk about, really what we should talk about is your guys' latest little video with the gel tests.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I'll let you take lead. I looked and skimmed through it there, but I didn't get a chance to actually watch the whole way. But when we come back, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to our first break, if I can find it. See, I'm not even organized tonight. All right, here we go.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber, rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
All right, we're back. Maybe I can not be such a low energy Jeb this next segment of gaming.
We'll work on that.
So Kelsey comes in. I'm not going to give you his real name, but everyone probably knows by now. He says, "What?" He says, "We got a bunch of anti-American, anti-duck pinko commies listening tonight." Like most things, it's a bigger thing down south. Yeah, that and turkey hunting. I don't get. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like to hunt turkey. I like to eat wild turkey, but them guys live for it down there, and I don't get it. I don't. I mean, maybe it's because mine are tame, and even the wild turkeys, they live around there all year, and then not much of a hunt. You kind of walk out there and get one. So maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
I haven't had to work for one. Maybe that's the problem. Josh Patterson says, ducks, you got to drag them from home behind your truck. I tell you this, when we were having that private property rights bill, a couple sessions back in 19, duck hunting or bird hunting, waterfowl in particular, that was a huge topic in those committee meetings because all these groups and all these waterfowl hunters, well, you can't have posted land because we don't know where the ducks will be the next day. That to me, which wasn't an excuse to infringe on private property rights, but they sure thought it was. And it's a big thing over there, I guess.
I like dark meat, so that duck meat is kind of that's better for me. I do like that, but
yeah, it's not too bad. Like I said, I eat them. I have them. Corey says, shoot them all, effing turkeys. Yeah, he usually got like 100 and something in his yard.
If you got them, yeah, you know that they're a problem. Yeah.
See, I keep mine managed. They're anywhere from 10 to maybe 13, 14. And that's it. They get more than that. Guess what? They get lowered. We'll leave it at that. Gene Cox says it's a rush. If you don't have it in your blood, you won't get it turkey hunting. And that must be what it is. didn't grow up doing it. They always were around down there at my grandfather's place. And if we wanted one, back then it was, if you were in Corson County, I think the deal is that you could shoot them with your regular license. If you were in Perkins County, you had to have a tag. I think now you got to have a tag for everything. But so if we wanted one, we went and got one. No big deal, right? So we went turkey hunting. What'd you do? I walked out over the hill, and there they were in the trees, and got one. Oh, did we lose Axe? Uh-oh. All right. So with that, then, I'm going to move into something that's happening out in California. And imagine that, California, we've said this time and time again, right? No matter what happens, and this is why we've never agreed with wanting to see, bullet stamping or registration, or remember when they came asked, they want us to have an arsenal license if we had more than 1,000 rounds. They couldn't pass actual firearms bans. They couldn't infringe that deep. And that was before the Supreme Court cases came out. But like I said, if they do that, then they're going to start saying, okay, then we're going to go after the components. Well, that's what they've been doing. Bullets, loaded ammunition. Now you're looking at ghost guns, which is not illegal to build your own gun. Well, now California is going after barrels. That's right, barrels. Now, yeah, if you 3D print, you can pretty much print everything, and you can actually print a barrel. Be a one-time use. I guess you could sleeve it with a steel liner. I don't know, but for the most part, it's not going to last you or work very well. So a lot of people still want, if you build an AR, you can get a poly lower, right? You can get that receiver. But you definitely got to put an upper on there and put a steel barrel on it. Well, that's what California is after now. It's Senate Bill 704. Jesse CommieTube, again, a Democrat out there, introduced this bill. And what it's going to do is make every single barrel that you purchase is going to have to go now through an FFL dealer, which I don't even know how they can make a federal firearms dealer do this. Maybe they got a California dealer license. I don't know. But it requires a background check for any replacement barrel or aftermarket barrel upgrade for purchase. Couple things. I'm sure Nick's background check system is going to love that. Can you imagine all the people just buying barrels for assemblies now, having to go through them background checks? And I don't know how many that would increase, but I imagine it'd be a lot. And if it ended up going into the other blue states, I could see something like, Colorado, maybe that's part of that new assault weapons ban, but Colorado or Illinois, name your commie state. I can't imagine what that's going to do to the federal background check system if they have to go through that for every single barrel. Now add that and complicate it. They really want you to have any component. And when you read Senate Bill 704, and they talk specifically about barrels, but they also have in there that could essentially lead, and it's written that way on purpose, that it could lead to other components. I'm talking things like a forward grip, shrouds. Basically, anything that can be attached to your gun is what they left when they wrote that bill. It's open-ended. Now, that's not going to go into effect July 1st if this passes immediately, but it would be left open-ended and up to the state of California and the Attorney General's office, the way I read it, that they could say, well, wait a second. We're having some issues here. I think we're going to have to go ahead and do this. We're going to have to, now you're going to have to get your butt stock, and you're going to have to definitely got to get those shrouds, or maybe your muzzle brake. Name your component. All right, Doug says his computer went down. He's trying to log back in. All right, keep working on it, Dougie. I can tell you right now, that link should still work. If you need me to resend you the link, let me know. We can definitely do that. So, yeah, I wanted to keep Doug on here for the whole thing. But hey, if we can't, we'll finish. It'll be a short show, and that's okay. I got things to do anyway tonight. Anyway, so Senate Bill in California, Senate Bill 704. Sponsored by a commie Democrat. I pulled that bill up and read it. It's got a lot of other things in there. I will give this, the National Association of Gun Rights. They've been all over this and saying, yep, this is just another step. This is just another thing. And it kind of did what they did with 1588 here in North Dakota. So with our public gathering laws in North Dakota, you get I forget what the $100 fine, but there's something like that. But it's taken down to a misdemeanor. Oh, woo, rah, rah, right? No, I shouldn't even have to be fined. It still makes it a criminal offense. Same thing here. If you don't do this in California, it's a misdemeanor. Oh, well, gee, thanks for that, Mr. Government. You not trampling my rights. It's just going to be a misdemeanor. But no, it's still, in my opinion, it's a crime. And I'm not committing any crimes by carrying. I'm not committing any crimes by buying a barrel. And nobody is in California. They don't care, though. They don't care about your rights. I should never need government's permission ever to exercise my rights. It's just that simple. So, and I like what this one author said here. He goes, they'll get it on the books. When that doesn't work, then they'll use that to justify it and say, see, we tried it this way, but that wasn't enough. We need more. And they'll probably jack it up to a felony, especially in California. It's just a first step. And we all know California has some of the worst firearms laws probably on the books. I do like what he did point out, and I was going to say that too. Supreme Court talking about the Vanderstock ruling says they really can't prohibit anybody from making their own gun, which is what I said earlier. You can make your own gun, okay? And like I said, that came out of the Vanderstock ruling. But they can make it so hard and so expensive to buy components that a lot of people say it isn't worth it. They're just not going to do it. Can you imagine now? I mean, right now when you get a gun, especially, grab a rifle back here, your standard rifle. You've got your serial number. It's right there. A lot of times, sometimes it's even on the barrel, some of the overseas ones, but a lot of times it might be right there on the bolt, on the action itself. But that's it. That's all you need to do. That means for sure now, the barrel's going to have its own identifying number. Definitely the action. If you got an AR, definitely your lower. And if every part they do that with is going to have a number on it, because otherwise, how else would you do it? So can you imagine the extra cost it would take to start stamping that into everything and keeping track of it? Oh my goodness. So yeah. And it comes down to it. When the government tell you that they aren't trying to infringe on you, they're doing exactly that. They don't want you to have firearms. They don't want you being independent. They don't want you not needing them, and they want to be able to control you. And that's what this all comes down to all the time. Whether it's a firearms right violation, whether it's your freedom of speech, your freedom to petition, your enshrined freedom to vote, anytime they try to take it or license it and sell it back to you, things like that, it's all an infringement, and it's about control. It has nothing to do with safety, because as I've always said, criminals are criminals by definition. That means they don't care about whatever law is passed, and they absolutely will break it if you pass another one. They don't care. They're criminals. So the only people that are ever affected by this are you and me, the law-abiding people. And sometimes we get caught in that loop that makes us a criminal because somebody took their pen, signed away your rights, and made you a criminal overnight. We saw that happen with the bump stocks. That's what ATF did. By the stroke of a pen, a regulatory thing come down, and boom, everybody was a felon. And it was kind of a bad thing. Would have cost you a lot of money, spend some time in jail. Even though it was a legal product that if you bought one, it was legal to sell, it was legal to make, it was legal to buy, it was legal to possess, until one day you woke up and it isn't. Now you're in trouble if you didn't turn it in. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I can tell you by the numbers, nobody did that. They didn't care. They said, no, we're not doing it. Not doing it. This ain't Canada. This is not Mexico. I tried to have a gun in Mexico unless you're a legal gun. If you're a cartel member, you're okay. Or if you got Eric Holder in there and he's sending guns across there in Operation Fast and Furious, then you're okay. But other than that, you can't probably even have them. So United States says we have the Second Amendment, 27 words, says that you may own a firearm, you may possess a firearm, may maintain that firearm. And I don't believe in concealed permits either. You have to have them, though, if you're going to go to other states somewhat. So, there is that. but that it's a right you already possess, and it's not something that the government should be able to say, nope, you need a permit and sell it back to you. Then it becomes a privilege. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. All right. Get to some of these comments here. Yeah. Eric said, getting back to the turkey hunt, he said, yeah, it's got to be in your blood. And I know it's in Eric's. Eric's, by the way, if you ever get a chance, maybe we should put that up on our Guns 701. We had one up on our Rax Adventure team where him and his dad went down there. And I thought that video turned out pretty good, especially being that was pretty much the first one I ever edited. And it didn't turn out too bad, I didn't think. And they got two really nice toms. And Eric, he's a filming maniac, I'm telling you. He's got some great footage. So Corey says, shift for Schumer introduced an assault weapons ban again. Yes, I heard that too. I think it's come up in every single session since it became an idea. You know, it got passed the first time and then it sunsetted in 10 years, which was great that it sunsetted. But I think you're going to see that come up each and every year. Luckily, even when they took control, think about this. Democrats had the House, the Senate, and the White House, but they didn't have enough votes to get it out of the Senate. Elections matter. Who you elect matters. It truly does. Even if they don't do everything perfect, still matters because the Democrat Party is completely anti-Second Amendment. That's in their party platform. It's got worse. And there's just no ifs, ands about it. Oh, we got Axe back. Would you take your phone?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, things happen. I've had it happen to me.
Piece of shit computer's been charging for 2 days, then all of a sudden says dead battery.
For a new one.
It must be, yes.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
Yeah. I like this one. Here, that's just for you. He says, hey, ask Axe if he wants me to call an IT guy. I love it. Yeah, you might know a little something about that, out there in the eastern side of, well, we'll just say you're east of Bismarck. We'll leave it really broad over there. Yeah.
I'm looking for a good computer. That's what I'm looking for.
You want a laptop, or do you actually want...
Just a laptop would be fine, yeah.
I don't know if there is anything such thing. Like when we did the show, we built 3, I call them supercomputers. Jamie's got one, I got one, and Deke has one down there. By the way, Deke has not quit the show. Deke's got other things going on. He still wants to stay active. He's done a little bit of editing for us. He's got a lot of things going on in his world, so don't write him off, but I don't think you're going to see him on here for a while. And hopefully he'll start doing some badasses because those were pretty cool, weren't they?
Yes.
I thought he did a good job with them. We should play one of the ones he's done here one of these days and just start running them again because I'm sure a lot of people didn't see him. We had a lot of new subscribers now. Thanks to everybody over there on X. I'm watching that number click up. So X is where it's at. It is. All right. So I'm going to just wrap it up there. I was going off on a tangent about selling my rights back and California and California. So
about the barrels?
The barrels, yeah. You got any input you want to put in on that?
Well, wouldn't it for passing a background check, wouldn't they have to be serialized then too?
Well, that's what I said. Can you imagine the burden that would put on the NICS system already that's overburdened?
Right. I've bought some different barrels for, either putting a compensator or suppressing it. None of them has social security numbers, or not social security, but serial numbers. Even the originals don't have serial numbers. So,
yeah,
more hoops to jump through that ain't going to fix a damn thing for.
No, it's not. And that bill, when you read it, it's left open-ended that they could actually implement other components to your firearms if they wanted to.
What's next?
Yeah, then every single one of them would have to have its own unique serial number, which would really make it tough. Really make it tough to build your own at home. And I don't know, I can't imagine the FFL dealers want to keep track of, 5 different serial numbers for one gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what it could be. Change out your hand grips on your revolvers or something? Or
well, they have been
hold on there. That might be too comfortable in shooting.
California had a bill, as did Colorado. I forget what year that was, where your magazines had to have a serial number and you had to go through an FFL to purchase a magazine. I'm talking a 10-round, a 5-round, all magazines. Luckily, they weren't quite as commie back then. So they didn't get passed, which was a good thing. But can you imagine if you had I mean, really? You'd have to do a background check to have a magazine?
Couldn't you
Wow.
just laser in the same number on all your magazines then?
I don't know. That's just it. They never really had, all it said was you had to do it to buy. The way that one out in California was worded, in order to purchase, you had to have a unique serial number on each item, on each magazine. So I would say on that one, no. Yeah. But they don't, it's just stupid. Hey, One Shot says, nice boar's head.
Thank you.
See, I know where that's at now. That morning I got up and had breakfast. Well,
Oh, yeah.
that's the room.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, though, maybe I can switch this for you. Let me see.
Oh, am I backwards again?
No, I got it.
Oh,
Boom.
perfect.
There we go. We got new controls here from Restream, so that's kind of nice. I can actually switch that kind of stuff for you guys now. Anyway. Well, I guess I'm trying to think here. Tell you what. Let's take another quick break. I need a little break anyway here and to take care of some other issues. I'm getting older, evidently. So I'm going to go do that. We're going to take a pit stop here. We'll do the big 5 ad one, then we'll come back. And we'll talk about the Belmont Police Department and what's happening out. Again, California, guys. California. Unbelievable, right?
Yep.
All right. We shall be right back here after our big 5 ad break. We'll come back and bash California a little more because they deserve it. We'll be right back.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber, rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
Ever tried catching a fish with your bare hands or hunting a deer with a stick? Don't be that guy. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we've got all the hunting and camping gear you need. We're your one-stop shop for outdoor adventure.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Check us out at mandansportinggoods.com, or better yet, stop in to 210 East Main Street, Mandan, North Dakota. Mandan Sporting Goods, where the outdoors meets functionality. Store hours, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Closed Sunday. Take up arms at Mandan Sporting Goods. Your adventure starts here.
Looking for the best gun gear for every and any situation? Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we're back. Hey, Corey, I know we should update that, and we did. The Mandan Sporting, I hit the wrong one, but I got too many things in that deal. One thing I am going to do, though, is remind everybody that Mandan Sporting Goods, they have this coming up, and it's their Monday night cruise coming up in May. So I'm going to run that for you guys. That's what I meant to run on the other one. So here we go. That way you guys will have that information. I really encourage you to go to that. We'll see. I don't have a lot of confidence that I'm going to have my clutch all done yet, so we'll see. But
it's Mandan's Monday Night Cruise, powered by Mandan Sporting Goods. Every second Monday of each month.
May 12th, June 9th, July 14th, August 11th, September 8th, and October 13th.
Route predetermined before each drive. Starting point for each event will be at Mandan Sporting Goods parking lot at 5:30 and returning around 7 p.m. for food and beverages. There will be a 50-50 gun raffle after each cruise, with 50% of the profits going towards the Believers. Check out the Believers at Believers1 on Facebook and at @TheB_Levers on Instagram. The Mandan Monday Night Cruise, powered by Mandan Sporting Goods, every second Monday of each month, now through October.
all right, that's coming up. And again, their new address, though, over there is 206 4th Avenue Northwest in Mandan. It's pretty easy to find when you're coming into Mandan on Main. Just hang a left there by Runnings when you get past there, and it's just right down the block. You can't miss it. I think he's still, I don't know, has he got that tank still sitting there? Or that maybe what was an artillery shooting? I don't know what he's got there. Cannon. That's right. He had a cannon. That's what it was.
I think that's his house, actually.
Oh, I think he had it at his shop for a while.
He's got that truck out there. Yeah, it's not a 2-ton truck, but yeah, it's definitely a military.
And we'll see what goes on here. Like I said, I really want to I wanted to bring my pickup up there, but I don't know if I'm going to have it done now with our clutch issue that we had. By the way, did you know they quit making the 10-inch for that particular 305 behind in front of it?
Did not know that.
So now it's being shipped to a place, and they're going to redo it. They're going to rebuild it essentially. So I just don't think I'm going to have it back in time. I really doubt it. I'm not going to pay extra to rush it either. So. Hey, that's the way it goes when you work on the old stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay, what Jamie was just saying, the guys at Mandan Sporting told me that the first cruise night had the lot overflowing. That's awesome. Glad to hear that. I guess I could take the Dodge up there, right? I mean, what the hell? It doesn't say you have to have an old vehicle.
Right.
Get your Dodge going. There we go.
Yeah. We can wave to each other then. Yeah.
Hey.
Toolbox is out the side of the window.
I guess I could throw my Scout on a trailer and cruise around in that and do that. That might be fun.
Yeah.
And if it breaks down, then you got to be there so you can bail me out.
Right.
So, anyway, all right. So we're gonna get back here. So we're going back to California, and I'm going to let you kind of go through this. I'll add to it if you want me to, but I think
Okay.
you probably know what's going on here. And we did talk about this kind of thing exactly on the show. I think Jamie and I did. So I think this is a good article. It kind of just proves our point.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just start with the headline here. Belmont officer charged with rape had 2017 domestic violence arrest in U.S. on work permit. So here in Belmont, California, they just learned that this Belmont police officer arrested for rape last week had an arrest for domestic violence several years ago before he became a cop.
So wait a second. So this guy has a history, right?
Yes.
So this guy has a history of domestic violence, but yet he became a police officer. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, like you're saying, it's raising questions about whether he should have been hired at the Belmont Police Department in the first place. Well, that's a little late now, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah.
We have new information on his previous arrest and his immigration status. We have confirmed that Philippe Gomes is not a U.S. citizen, but has a work permit. So he is allowed to serve as a police officer in the state under a recent law signed by Governor Dickhead.
Yeah, old Newscomb. Yeah. And
Yeah.
let's remember, when they say he could get a work permit, this wasn't from the feds. It ain't even an EB-85, whatever them other ones are. No, this is just, when I was looking at this, it was authorized under what he signed, old Governor Newscomb. I love it. He was nicknamed that. That's my favorite nickname. Anyway, and it's a California thing. So, you're here illegally, but here's a work permit. Go ahead and stay. So, all right, go ahead.
Just 4 months ago, Belmont Police Chief Ken Stinquist presented his new recruits, including this 35-year-old Gomes. He was a Brazilian Air Force. Yeah, he was part of that and part of the Air Force Police. I don't know what kind of Air Force the Brazilians have, or
I don't know either. Yeah,
that sounds pretty sketchy. But he was a full-time soldier and left that position when he illegally entered the United States. He enjoys practicing.
He illegally entered our United States of America, crossing the border illegally again. Illegal.
I like how they added this here too. He enjoys practicing jujitsu and attending church when he's not working or beating up his wife or raping someone. So yeah, that.
Guys got to have hobbies.
A little puff piece there. Yeah, fluff it up a little bit.
I like that. When he's not doing that, protecting and serving, raping his people.
He's not a complete dickhead. Yeah, he's actually a nice guy.
So, I mean, this just goes right back to when I do remember when we talked about that. I think Chicago was doing. There's a few of them doing where they were actually letting illegals serve on their police departments. What could go wrong, right? Right here is a great example.
Nobody wants to be a cop in a sanctuary city except for all the illegals.
Yeah, I mean, these people don't have any respect really for our laws. I mean, obviously they came here illegally. They don't know procedures in our laws.
You shouldn't need a law to tell you it's not okay to beat your pregnant to beat your girlfriend or wife or rape someone. I mean, that's
you'd think that'd just be obvious, right? But you got to remember, a lot of these people come from other countries, third world countries, where that's a common practice. They don't even think it's wrong. I don't know what Brazil's like particularly, but I can think of countries where that's, it's not a big deal to beat your wife. I mean, we see it in Muslim countries. You looked at someone wrong. All right, we'll chop your hand off. That kind of stuff, and it does happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is exactly the example we talked about, letting illegals. Again, illegal. So they've already committed a felony other than what this guy did. And now they're cops enforcing the law.
They can't buy a gun, but we'll make you a cop instead.
And inflict enforcement of laws they have no clue what they are on United States citizens. I mean, the insanity of that. Really? So illegals are enforcing laws they don't know what they mean on United States citizens. Yeah, that's going to go well, isn't it? And then, of course, this come out of California. And that was Senate Bill 960. State Senator Nancy Skinner brought that forward. Another a Democrat, a communist. I mean, let's call them, they're communists. That's what they are. And, of course, it got signed. I do see that they were talking about that they got, they reached out to the Bay Area. They did reach out to the wife. Sound like the wife's in Brazil, right? They said they couldn't get a hold of her when they were trying to interview her. And then the Redwood City Police are supposed to be sending the case to San Mateo District Attorney's Office by Friday. We'll see if that gets done. I might try to follow up on that because I'd like to see if this actually happens. I mean, to me, this sounds like a great candidate for Mr. Tom Holman the Hammer, as Jamie, we call him Tom the Hammer Holman. Come on over into California and hammer him down and just deport his butt. Get him the hell out of here. Jamie
back to Brazil, yeah.
Yeah, I like what Jamie said. Brazil's an a-hole. And it's a 6x6 truck that's sitting in front of Brandon's shop over there. So, and Brandon's he stayed on. All our sponsors they're going strong. They're staying with us, and we appreciate it. We absolutely do. And by the way, you guys are legal. You're not illegal. It's all on the up and up. I mean, the things we have to do for book work, just for this little thing now that we take sponsorships, is insane. But by God, swim across the river, jump a fence. I mean, it sounds like you probably should be in the Olympics. But anyway, you get over here, and then you go ahead and become a police officer.
Triathlon, yeah.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. Yeah, they can just think. They can do the shooting in that. They can do the running, and they can do the swimming. Yeah, they're perfect, right? Put them on the Olympics.
Maybe scale a fence, yeah.
Maybe high jump. All right. Oh, yeah, I heard about this. Well, Jesus, the White House is putting their pictures on the White House lawn of the illegals. Yes, I actually saw a little bit outstanding. Beats what we saw for the previous 4 years. That was horrible. Or drive a truck. Yeah, Corey, you're right. They're allowing them to drive trucks. I mean, I can tell you right now, things have really flopped. Pretty much it's a trickle at the border now, but they're still in our country, and I think they've only deported something 65,000, which is it's a great start. And they've been fighting a lot of obstacles. Can you believe we got Democrats out there that are trying, Democrat and activist judges trying to fight the Trump administration from deporting people who committed felonies by crossing the border illegally into our country. Really? That's your party if you're a Democrat? Really? Do you support that?
Yeah, this Gomez should have been kicked out of the country back in 2017.
Yeah, when all this happened. I mean, obviously they knew about it.
Could have saved someone from getting raped.
Absolutely. Crazy world.
Especially in California.
Yeah, well, California, like I said, all bad ideas come out of California, it seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch this Colorado assault weapons ban thing as it moves now through the court systems, because I was reading through that, and that wasn't on my thing tonight, but I know about it. And we already saw this overturned. What their premise is for the entire thing has already been overturned by the Bruin case in the Supreme Court. But I suppose I got to try it and then go through them. I mean, it takes a lot of money to do this. So all these groups, all these people are going to have to, basically someone's going to have to violate it. So you have standing in court, and it's going to have to go to court. It's going to have to work its way up through the state courts and then to the district, federal courts. And it'll take a long time.
Repeal it. And then they'll change a couple words and run the same shit through again.
That's why, I'll give them this. Them people are never, they're never short of try, are they?
No.
And they're very organized, and they just keep doing it. They just keep chipping away as much as they can. All right, 18 wheel and a dozen 6-shooters. They have to be trannies to be in the Olympics. And he goes, how about the 189,000 rounds busted in Colorado? Yeah, I heard about this, but I did not hear anything. I didn't look into it. Just somebody told me about that. Do you know anything about that, Doug?
Jamie covered it last weekend, I know, or last week, or over the weekend. Or
Yeah, he did a Saturday show, so yeah, I didn't even know he was doing one. And I was like, oh shit, I see he did show. Cool.
Sounds like they were trying to get him back to Mexico or something here. And
Okay, good. Trump just signed an executive order that you have to be able to speak English to drive a truck now. Great, that's good. Now we need to make it law. I mean, plain and simple, we need to make it law. Libs,
I think
they're
they should have to
losing.
be able to read English too, right?
What's that?
They should be able to have to read English also. That would be kind of handy for road signs and whatnot.
I would think that should be a requirement. I have to go look at the executive order. So 2A701 libs are losing their ever-loving mind over those pictures on. I bet they are. I can't imagine. I don't watch the other side much anymore. I've kind of been stuck on YouTube watching Vice Grip Garage, so but I haven't even been watching much news lately. reading some, but not watching a lot of it. Go to a truck stop and ratio the amount of foreign drivers versus. It's horrible. We're even seeing them even out in our area. I run into them. One guy got stuck out here last year in the road construction with a transport, vehicle transport, buried that baby into the mud. Couldn't speak a lick of English. You know what? I can't help you. I don't even know what you're saying. I don't tell you. Freaking learn how to speak English. Corey says, not now. Get this. There's a law that they're supposed to know how to read and write, but Trump just reiterated that with the executive order. There we go.
Okay.
Corey has a CDL, does a lot of truck driving, so he would know about this stuff. It's a good thing that he signed it, but now they have to enforce it. Well, that's just it. I mean, there's a bunch of these colleges that aren't enforcing these executive orders. It's funny. Boy, if the Democrats sign when it's law, it's got the power of law, but if we do it, nope, we don't have to do it, right? Tingle went down my leg when I saw those posters on the White House lawn. Birthday boys chiming in here. All right. It's already law. Yep. They're running ammo down to Mexico. Imagine that. Well, then we better serial number every single bit of ammunition. That'll stop that, right? Yeah. It's already law. You're supposed to be able to read and write English and get a license, and then they haven't been given tests in 10 languages for a long time. So, yeah, okay. So you got to read and write, but yeah, if they give it in a different language, I guess if you read and write in your own language, that suffice? I don't know. How would that work in your shop? You didn't know a lick of English.
Well, yeah, for some things it might work okay. One of the guy's brothers picked up a vehicle that was actually made over in Japan, so I was just looking at what a Japanese serial number looks like. He was wondering if I could translate it for him, but I had no skills. My phone doesn't do that either, so yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. And actually, it was an imported Japanese vehicle, huh?
Yep. Works for the post office, so wanted that right-hand drive, but now nothing crosses over from Japanese built to American built.
It's a cluster fun.
Yes.
I guess you have to find someone that actually speaks it and reads it, and they can, and then make sure you write it down. But yeah.
Yep. And then order parts from Japan. Yeah.
Fun. That's great. Oh, yeah. Corey says, or 701 Nation. Jamie says, Corey, you have to double down on laws nowadays for the leftists. Yeah, that's about right. Jacob, hey, Bloodline Kinetics. Hey, Jacob, glad you're tuning in here. Just look at those two handsome steeds.
Yeah.
Behind me. Don't give me any ideas, Clay. Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm sure that was the comment about stamping the ammo. Well, that's been talked about for years, micro stamping ammo, but it's unrealistic. Even they know it, but I think that's the idea. If you can't,
that was supposed to be on the firing pin, right?
Yeah, on the firing pin, and won't matter anyway. Pop the primer. This tells you about politicians not knowing a damn thing about how guns actually function. It just sounds good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Jacob, he's staying on too here. We just talked with him, and we were talking about doing another gun, but yeah, we're glad to have him stay on as a headliner sponsor. So appreciate Bloodline Connects, and I think he's doing something. He was on Scott's show here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was last week, but don't remember.
I believe so. Yes.
So yeah, it sounds like you're going to be doing something with him. So that's great. He makes some great firearms down there, and he can hook you up. He really can. Except for the gun I was looking for, that Browning, but nobody seems to have them, and you can't get them. And it wasn't for me; it's for a buddy of mine. He thought maybe I had enough connections to find one, but from what I understand, they're kind of hard to find. So, all right, Jamie, I speak fluent AR-15, finger red number 1. Gene, as soon as they get meth outlawed, they shouldn't be worried about me. Yeah. Well, they probably make as much money off of that, and no one even knows it, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the smoking campaigns. Oh, we got to get rid of smoking, but yet the government collects so much tax off of tobacco, both smoking and chewing tobacco. They're not. If it's so bad, then which I don't do it, but if it is, why not just outlaw it? Oh, that's right, the moolah. They make a lot off of guns too, really.
Yeah.
Oh, Jacob's coming on Dakota Mornings with us on Monday, May 5th. Yeah, speaking of that, we will be live. I'll be live in studio, providing that nothing happens between now and then as far as calving going like it did last week. But be on Dakota Mornings in studio with Michael Bell, 9 a.m. I believe it's 9 a.m., right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it 9 a.m.?
I believe you're right.
I think so. 9 a.m. Central Time, I believe. So be up there live in studio with him. Jacob's going to be joining us from Bloodline Kinetics. Going to be a great show. Friday, everybody. Jamie is going to be filling in for me. I have to go on a little trip, a little excursion. I did pick up a box for my 1962 GMC project, so I'm going to get that. And I got to cross the river, and there's no ferry, so I guess I got to drive around. It's actually Sakakawea. I got to go around the damn thing. So that'll be a long trip.
You starting a 701 automotive channel also?
Well, maybe we need to. I can come up and film you as you're working on stuff and bleep out the bad words.
Oh, boy.
Watch how many tools that you try to throw and plant. That don't work. Did you know that does not work? When you throw your 9/16 across the yard, really? And it gets buried, it does not grow a 9/16. It's gone. That's why you got to get gear wrench. Nothing fancy. You don't want to lose them expensive ones.
They're kind of expensive too.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, JB says 9 to 11 Central. Read Leon's post to Bloodline. Did I miss that? I don't think I see that. It's not in my deals here. Did I miss something here? I don't see them. I'd love to read it. The only thing I see is they're on the website. So, yeah. Corey says, "Hey Dave, I'm still smoking the pipe, and the tobacco's still the same stuff I bought in Florida." Really, I didn't know that. I remember when you bought that on that trip. I think he had it at camp there while you were down there.
Yeah. Are you lighting that pipe with the flamethrower?
Ah, there we go. The flamethrower.
That would probably give it probably not great taste though.
Probably not. I haven't had that out for a while. I should fire that baby up. It was fun.
Oh yeah.
Gene, no, I'm not looking for parts. He wants the whole gun. I'll text you the message. Maybe you might have a lead on one of them too. I think I shared it in our G&T701 Fascist-book messenger page, but I don't remember. Yeah, 701 Auto Show with them car silencers. Yeah, the mufflers. We did a whole segment on that. Yeah, that was kind of a good one too. Corey says, "Come on down, guys. Got a 97 F350 to put a transmission back in." There we go. Sounds like the makings of a show, don't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, that's why I've been watching Vice Grip Garage. I was looking for something else, and that popped up. Oh, that's kind of
kind of entertaining. Yeah, how he just goes and
will it run? And now I see there's a lot of copycats out there. But the boy, he's from North Dakota. He's up there in I think northeast of Minot originally. And he comes back every now and then too. So, and off air, I'll tell you something about him later. He seems like a pretty good guy. Of course, says no flamethrower burns my mustache. He's looking more for rides, mustache rides. Anyway, Brian says got to meet Jake last Friday. Finally got a gun in there to thread with, and one that Mama Joe won at the Brain Bucket Challenge. There we go.
Wow.
I hope so. Like I said, yeah.
I think Josh had just had his in last week too, getting threaded. So
awesome. And, this is great. We might not have the biggest audience, but we definitely got loyal listeners, and we do appreciate it. And hopefully we'll bring some more on. I know we're going to pick one up out of Lemon. I just got to get in there and do the details and get the check from him. So Kalen's Auto is coming on with us. So another auto guy. So see, we can do a whole show, right?
Yeah.
Kalen, he's really into the old stuff. I mean, he does the normal stuff like you guys do up in Bismarck, but he really likes doing these, what I would call resto type jobs. He's done a few now, and I think he could probably open a shop up and just do that. But, he's a hell of a guy, and he doesn't want to leave everybody else out because he wouldn't have time to then do the regular stuff. So he does what he can, and calls me and gives me great news about, we can't find the parts, or it's too old. Yeah. You know how that goes. So, all right. We still got a few coming in here. He submitted one for coding on Bloodline's website, but said he hasn't received a response. Okay. Hey, Jacob, I don't know if you heard that. So, Leon, he submitted for coding on your website. We'll check that out. And what I can do is, I think, you could do it too. But if you get a chance before I do, Jamie, just let's get these two together with a text chat so they can talk about it. That'd be the way to do that. Hey, we're here to help, right? Kumbaya. Josh says, "Yep, got the boys' rifle threaded. Hoping to get my daughters into him on this week if it works out." There we go. Perfect. So I'm glad that we're sending some business that way. That's what this is all about. Hell, I think that job I had you do, I probably paid for the whole year for you.
Yeah.
Damn Dodges. Why do they make radiators with plastic? What the F? Mine is leaking on both sides. Why do they make plastic? That Chevy Impala I got, that 3.8 has a plastic, what is that, a manifold intake?
Oh, yeah.
And that thing just one day, it I don't know, it hadn't started. It wouldn't start, so I suppose it built gas in. And then when it did, it went poof, and it just blew that. I was like, what in the freaking plastic? Really? Yeah. Again, why I like old vehicles. Again, why your hunting rig should be an old vehicle out of steel. So, all right. Well, I tell you what, we're getting here. Let's do one more quick ad, and then I think we'll come back, and we'll wrap this up. We'll talk a little bit about a happy ending and anything else you got going on. How's that sound?
Great.
I think maybe we need to talk about the gel test just a little bit.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right. We're getting a lot of ads in tonight, so that's good.
Yep.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber, rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitution. constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
All right, we are back. And before we left, we were talking about the happy ending. But hey, why don't you give us a recap of the video you guys did? I see it's doing real well over there too on the old CommieTube with the gel test that you guys did.
Yeah, so Jamie wanted to test out some rounds that he had there. I think they were Nosler ballistic tip, 55 grains, shooting it out of the 701 rifle. Of course, God's cartridge there. So we wanted to see once what it would do in the gel. And, I think maximum penetration was 12 inches and, blew up right away. Within the first inch, it blew up and had a nice wound channel there and just kind of left jacketing and copper the next 10 inches basically. And then, like I said, maximum penetration was 12 inches. So
awesome.
Yeah. Not bad for at 300 yards then. Yeah.
I just pulled it up here. There it is, guys. It's right there. Boom. See it just kind of, I'm not feeding the audio into it, but
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember how the audio sounds on that, but when you hit the gel at that distance, it sounds like you're shooting something.
It sounds like a whack, like when you're out hunting. Yep. I could turn it on here if people want to see this a little bit, and maybe they'll go check it out. But
300 yards center, hit it a little high, but okay. I mean, I was aiming there. Let's see. Well, we got, man, look how that blew up in there. There's the tip. I can see just the tip. Yeah.
She's talking about ballistic.
Tip. Man, I put a hell of a freaking. When she penetrated, well, that's got to be up 10, 11.
Yeah.
Let's see. Should we see if we can dig out these pieces? And nobody wants to watch that, but we'll dig them out and we'll show you here. We'll be right back. All right, so we got a foot. It penetrated 12 inches. And there's other pieces. There's a piece down in there. We didn't want them digging it all out. And there, like I said, the tips in there. And we got but the jacket went 12 inches, and that's pretty impressive. There's another big piece right in there, actually.
Oh, yeah, look at
that. It's the Nosler ballistic tip varmint, and it definitely blew up like I told Axe, if you get a deer behind the shoulder with no bone, you can't shoot deer with that. Geez, you could. I'm not going to. Obviously, Axe and I are some pretty scientific guys here.
Really?
Oh, yeah. But hey, again, an impressive wound cavity there when it went in. We got 12 inches of penny, 300 yards. 701 rifle didn't fail. Love it.
Kind of impressive, ain't it?
Hey, Axe. Thanks for the gel, man. Thanks for the range. Let's go have some more fun.
Okay.
All right, there we go. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looked like it worked out well. And up there at the older, well, you weren't at the rock range, were you yet?
Yeah, we were just up there, shooting the other way. Yeah, I can only get about 200 yards out to rock range. So.
All right. No, and if you want to hit it, guys, Guns of the 701 right there on the old CommieTube, YouTube. I call it CommieTube. I can't believe we haven't dinged for a while, but hey, good enough, right?
Yeah, and Dave kind of tried to get in the show there a little bit too.
What's that?
Dave Feddick was trying to get in the show there a little bit too. Yeah, he was honking as he went by on the interstate there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, was that you telling me that? Yeah, he was letting the old horn go on the semi, right?
Yep.
All right. So Jacob says, hey, Axe, does Jamie let you shoot the 701 rifle? I think we're going to have to get you set up with something for range days. There you go.
He does let me play with it a little bit. Yeah. Yep. And
Jacob says, yep, I had an issue with the new website. They're working on it today. Sales at bloodlinekinetics.com. There you go. And I think Jamie's working on just putting them two together in a text message together. So we'll get it taken care of, and that I'm glad we were able to help. So I got to show you something else here before we go to the happy ending.
Yeah.
My buddy out there at American Steel Supply out in Minnesota, the guy's coming out. You met him last year, Chris Brownell.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think he shared this on the messenger too. That's my target that I requested. I told him, I kind of want a full size, close to a full size antelope because deer, right? Yeah, he said, but that one ate well. If you notice it's hardy, isn't it? So I am definitely looking for that. We're gonna have to use that day for sure. But thanks to Chris for that, because that's kind of cool. We don't have an antelope one.
No.
I might have to put a big old NDGFP symbol on it for their freaking gratis tag crap they're trying to do. Yeah. Anyway, then still that hasn't been signed, and not that I've checked. I haven't checked it today, but it doesn't sign it. It hasn't been signed just yet, which is good. I hope it gets a big old fat veto, but well, we've discussed that here, and if it does get signed, unless you know me, and we've already made arrangements, don't even ask. I'm not letting anybody hunt antelope. Not going to do it. I did see a big group, though, finally. That's the most antelope I've seen in several years this time of year. So it's good to see. Maybe they'll come take refuge on our place.
We've only had a couple come through here, I guess. So no big herds yet.
I got my gratis tags in for deer, me and the boys. So they called. It was funny. They called today, and they were evidently trying to compare the land with the county's filing, and it didn't match. I said, well, that's because you're dealing with tribal members, honestly. And in Sioux County, they just nothing does. They don't even pay all the tax stuff they're supposed to. I mean, they're delinquent with the state of North Dakota for some stuff, but I'm not in charge of that. And like I told that guy, I said, if you want, I said, I can sure send you a copy of the deed to show you it is owned. No, I'll just make a notation of it. So yeah, but they did call us. They're combing through gratis stuff anyway. But let's see what it says here. And I do think it looks pretty cool, Jamie. He says that thing looks bad. Yeah, it does. It's gonna be fun to shoot that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna keep that one next, but I'll definitely bring it up there when we're doing stuff.
Sounds great.
Unless he makes me two. I requested two. We'll see. I mean, that stuff's not cheap. So he might. I get it if you don't want to, donate two of them. That's some pretty heavy steel there. So, all right. With that, do you got anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good on that part.
All right. So, the happy ending Chronicle, as Jamie has renamed it appropriately, I think, too. So this one originates out of Tennessee. It's actually a follow-up from the 22nd of April is when this really happened. And this was a follow-up on it, which I found it was very interesting. Oh, sorry, not 22nd, the 17th. So the 17th in Crockett County, Tennessee. Basically what happened was there was something reported to the cops. They showed up there and they found Mrs. Kylie King, that she had fatally shot her husband, John King III, another scumbag. He had a reputation of violent abuse, domestic abuse. Here, another domestic abuse. He should go be a cop. I mean, he's got the qualifications in California. Anyway, so, and he was carrying a gun. He had a knife, and he was trying to strangle his wife. To even make
pregnant wife.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to make it worse, she was pregnant. So I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder what people are thinking. I don't get stuff like that. I would never do that. But I guess that's me and you were brought up different. You just don't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the sheriff's office of Crockett County said that as of right now, that the Judicial District Attorney's Office has announced that no charges will be filed against Mrs. King. Authorities affirmed that Mrs. King, who's now 6 months pregnant, acted to protect herself and her unborn child. And there were also two other children present in the home. So this scumbag, her husband, John King III, who now assumes a room temperature, and rightfully so, with a long history of domestic abuse. And this isn't the first call to this residence when you start looking into this. He decided he'd just expose his children to some really nice activity, right? Strangulation, abuse, hitting, stabbing, attempted murder. Just
Yeah, nothing like carrying on to the next generation or something.
Yeah, out there showing them how it's done, and maybe they can get their applications over in Belcart, California as well. Anyway, for the police department. But investigators did highlight that Mrs. King, she is a survivor of prolonged domestic abuse. It's clearly supported and it had been documented. One thing here is that I loved what the district attorney general said, Frederick H. He said she had no other choice but to defend herself, and that is why people have guns. In this case, she used her firearm appropriately to defend not just herself, but her children. Boom. That's the kind of attorney general. That's the district attorney general you want, in my opinion.
Do we know if that's actually her firearm then, or did she retrieve one of his or something? Or?
It's still not. Neither one of these articles say. And then when I went online to try and find, more local stuff, because you can follow them links.
Yep.
It never does say if that she took the firearm from him, because he came in with one and used it on him, or if she had her own. I'm gonna assume that she maybe had her own, knowing the violent history of this man.
Right.
And the problems. So maybe she did get herself one, and rightfully so. I wouldn't blame her. And
or maybe she took one of his that he had laying around somewhere or something.
And yeah, I mean, if maybe he had more than one. Probably shouldn't have had any, the way it sounds, but he did. And so even if he was barred from having one, that law worked well. Not so much, right? So anyway, that's our happy ending chronicle. John A. King is now, he's a dirt bag, and now he's laying beneath the dirt. He has assumed room temperature at 32 years of age. He will no longer abuse anybody, his children or his wife. And you know what? We're not going to miss him. So hopefully she can get the help she needs. And that is our happy ending chronicle for the week. Keith O'Donnell, hopefully it was a 44 mag. Yeah, it did not say. They did not give those details. But they did decide that they are not going to file charges against her, nor should they. That was a clear act of self-defense.
And save time not filing a restraining order, because they don't do shit anyway.
They don't do nothing anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have been killed by people that had restraining orders because they don't care. I mean, they already assaulted the person. So, why not give them another piece of paper and a law to break, because they're going to follow that one, right?
Yeah.
Eric Lazar says, shout out to Bloodline. Jacob brought my old Weatherby 270 Weatherman back to life with a new paint job Cerakote. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. Glad to hear that our listeners are going over there to Bloodline. I remember the first time I went down there, I was at the wrong building. They all look alike down there. And I got to the wrong building, but we found it. So, all right. Friday coming up. Jamie's going to be filling in Mitchell in the morning, and that'll be at 7:15 Mountain, 8:15 Central in the morning time zone. So tune in there. I don't know what he's got tonight. Jamie does his own thing, and he does a good job. So I don't know what they're talking about. Hopefully he let Todd know. I didn't send him a message yet, but I'm sure he did. So you want to tune in there for Mitchell in the morning with Jamie and Todd on Friday morning. And then coming up on, was it the 5th of May? Yeah, Monday. We'll be up there with Michael Bell on Dakota Mornings for 2 hours, everybody. So tune in. Of course, not 2 hours with the advertisements, but I think we're going to have a good time. And then Jacob's going to be joining us on that show. So I want to tune in for that one. Maybe we can get some Lauer Auto sponsorship plugs in there. Michael's pretty good about that. So
you guys do a hell of a job up there.
Oh, we appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. It's once a month. I think we could have done more, but I'll be honest. Right now, once a month is enough. It really is. Eric Newman says, give. Okay? Give. Are you giving me a gun? Oh, that's what it is. I bet he's giving me a gun. Good show, guys. I did let Todd know I will be in studio. So Jamie will be in studio on Friday. Well, I don't have anything else. I wanted to kind of keep a short show. An hour and a half. I think we did just fine on that. So,
well, Jamie told me to remind everybody to like the show.
To what?
To like the show.
Oh, yep.
To mess up the algorithm.
Yes.
And
do that on X. X ain't so bad, but do it on YouTube. Do it on Facebook. Like, share, invite people. Get them to do that. messes up the algorithm, then it starts showing up. It really does. It must be doing pretty good though, because I popped up on YouTube this morning and there were 2 things that popped up: Vice Grip Garage and us. So that was great. I mean, it and what came up was your guys' ballistic gel video.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
And so I thought that was great. Yeah. Tell Jamie, me and Eli have a little something we pulled together for him. There we go. All right, Jamie, I'm guessing you got that. So yeah, Michael's awesome about letting us mention our. Yep, he is about doing our sponsors. So with that, I'm gonna go. I didn't get a lot of sleep, so last night it started raining and I couldn't let those babies be out there in that cold, damp. Not when I got a barn right there. It's easy to put them in.
How much rain did you get?
All together with everything, including what we had last night and today, it was just a little over 3 inches.
Holy.
Today I think we had, from this morning till it stopped about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I think maybe looked like to me 40, maybe 35, 40 hundredths in there. So, but total and all, it was like just at 3 inches, maybe 3 inches and 3.5, So yeah, we're very happy.
Stop working on cars and start building an ark or something.
Maybe start working on old boats. No, we needed that, and it came. The great thing was it came over several days, so it came slow. It soaked into the ground. I mean, the ground's muddy, but it really, for 3 inches of rain, it's not as muddy as it should be. But boy, did it perk up the grass around here. So now I get to get the mowers out, which, by the way, went down in the little storage shed there where we got them in the barn, and they popped off. So I'm happy about that. Helps to drain that gas out of the carbs, everybody. Let it run out. That's what I do.
Stable doesn't hurt either.
What's that?
Stable doesn't hurt either.
I've always used stable.
And no ethanol.
No ethanol. No ethanol bad, especially on them small motors. Yeah. Don't do it. You'll regret it. Don't put it in boats or small motors for sure. I don't run it in my other stuff either. But
I don't put it in anything, no.
I don't either. I'm not a big fan of it. Go ahead and feed the corn to the animals. Quit making fuel out of it. There we go. Hey, Corey, I got a few boats, lots of projects. Yeah, Corey's got some international pickups down there too. So he's got. I need to go and see. We got to go down there, and I got to see if I can borrow a steering wheel from him for an unprecedented amount of time. Because whoever had my Scout, it's got a deal like this. They cut all this off, so all it's got is this little piece right here. So yeah,
like Kit.
Yeah, kind of like Kit. It's just stupid. All right, I'm gonna head out, everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Short show, but I think we got what we wanted to get done. Even after the technical difficulties, we got you.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. No problem right there. Everybody have a great weekend. Don't forget Friday morning and Monday morning. We'll see everybody next week.